Welcome to the fire. There's various ways to play the game, but you have to find yourselves a group that you can vibe with. But if you do end up playing in a public game, you do run the risk of finding yourselves across from, well, those players. Like in this following story. Not the best start to D&D Club, r/RPG horror stories, posted by Chapro1009. Setting the stage. My school had recently decided to start a D&D club. I was over the moon with joy. We had around 20 members in total. Everything seemed great. Since I'm on the subreddit, I'm sure you know that it didn't exactly go that way. We were split into two groups for the first one-shot, and as far as I know, things went really well for the other group. I'm glad for them, but I am really frustrated with how things turned out for the group I was in, mostly because it seems really hard on the DM. It was the DM's first time being the dungeon master, and she had a really awesome story idea. A man's family was murdered while he was away. When he returned, the ghosts of his family attacked him, mistaking him for the killer. He had realized what happened, but not before receiving excruciating wounds. He had a simple task for us. Put the spirits of his family to rest, and if we can, bring the man the most valued possessions of his family. Once we had gotten the mission, we went forward to his home, and before the DM could even get through her creepy description of the home's exterior and how stepping on the fall leaves made us eerily aware of our own presence, I hear,
"I clean my head off if any leaf hits it."
oh no. All throughout the game, we had two players, Keith and Ashley. Not their real names, constantly talk over the DM and be generally disruptive. Let's start with Keith, who was playing a bald Goliath monk. When we had gotten inside the home, Keith immediately yelled,
"I tried to break the door above us so we don't have to find the stairs."
Before the DM could even tell us about the hallway, he succeeded on his athletics and acrobatics checks and had broken part of the building. I will now mention that our reward was going to be the house. My character starts freaking out because he gets stressed out by loud noises and general high pressure scenarios. And Keith's character says,
"I live in a monastery. We could tear this house apart for all I care."
I, the player of a panicking character, was more upset than anything. When we found the body of the mother, he proudly announced that he would cut her up to make it easier to transport her. He then took her to the bathroom to cremate the body with the other problem player. Dude! I was done with his antics and wasted a spell slot on Charm Person because it was apparent he wouldn't willingly cooperate with the rest of the team. He roleplayed it as his character being really attracted with mine, which was a little weird, but who cares? This actually made some of his roleplay more fun, since he was trying to resist his destructive urges to make my character happy. He had to leave a little early, so his character ended up possessed by the mother's ghost, which led to a fun combat where my character was crying all throughout it, giving me disadvantage, which I was more than okay with. After he left, things had gotten a little better, but we still had issues from Ashley. Her character was a half-elf rogue. When we were first entering the house, everyone had to roll a perception check. Those who rolled high saw a very beautiful home those who roll low saw a home in disrepair. None of us were aware what the others saw, except for Ashley, who miraculously decided to metagame and have her character know everything. That became a reoccurring theme, and it killed the excitement of the plot point, since the items we were looking for appear like monsters to those who roll low. But Ashley completely threw all of it away by deciding to know everything. There was also the fact that Ashley's character behaved like a teenager from 2013. She would yeet items like torches in the wooden room we were in, and we basically had to take a 3-minute intermission for her to stop laughing at the cool and quirky destruction she decided to cause. She also basically killed any roleplay the party tried to start. My character would plead for her to, "Please don't break things anymore, it's making me scared." And she would hit me with the, "Don't tell me how to run my character." I think she missed that the deep-voiced orc with a lisp was not my actual voice, which makes sense since she spent most of the game announcing that her character wasn't paying attention to anything, probably to have an excuse for why she wasn't either. She also decided to call the mother's ghost a bee, and got on my character's case for not healing her when she did something that stupid. My character does not like yours. Why would he heal you? I gave her multiple chances to try to mend fences so I could be a softy orc druid and not a terrified character who constantly didn't listen to you because all your ideas have led to 100% preventable stupid consequences. You know, like calling a ghost a bee. When we had gotten to the end of the campaign, I started describing how my character took flowers out of his flower crown to place on where the mother and child were buried, and started crying to water them. Ashley yelled, "I start seeing spooky scary skeletons and try to steal the key the cleric found." None of us knew the cleric had found a key. I had one chance to actually show character beyond being scared of the two chaos characters, and she yelled over it. I am so glad that we get to switch groups whenever we want. My friend and I hated that game so much, and the DM seemed so upset that things weren't going the way she hoped. I really want to keep playing with the DM because I think she's really good at it, especially for a first-time DM, but if Keith and Ashley are in her group too, I might never play with that DM again. TLDR, the party I was in had a DM who got trampled over by two overly loud players who wanted to destroy things and nothing else, including destroying my enjoyment of what should have been a cool one-shot. As I said before, sometimes when you play in a public setting, you end up rolling the dice when it comes to finding yourselves in a group that works well together, especially when you consider the various playstyles of different players. There's players who have a more casual playing style and leans more on the comedic side of things and don't mind the metagaming, which Keith and Ashley seem to be. And you know what? That's valid. Then there's players who have a more serious playstyle with a heavier emphasis on the roleplay, which OP seems to be. Also valid. You just gotta find that right group. And that's our story. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button for more future content. Also, if you would kindly follow the socials posted in the description, that would be amazing. As always, be good, be great, be awesome.